Hey yo, what's the word? What's the word? Welcome back to another episode of The Cheap Truth with your boy Justin or Jay Will, whatever you want to call me. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Hope you can hear me real well through your speakers, your headphones, $200 AirPods, wherever you may be listening to this from, whatever you may be doing right now, besides listening to me. I appreciate you for dropping in, checking in on your boy. Because as always, you could have been anywhere else in the world, but you decided to be here with me. So for that, I appreciate it. So I hope everybody's having a good week so far. Doing pretty good. No complaints here. Just busy as hell at work, I guess. But I'm not really complaining. I guess I'm complaining, but I'm not complaining because given everything that's been going on in the year 2020, and we know that there's been a lot going on in the year 2020 with people losing their jobs, obviously COVID. You know, it could be a whole lot worse, man. So it's a good problem to have. Too much work rather than no work at all, if you ask me. So I'm good with that, man. But yeah, appreciate you for dropping in, man. Today, I want to talk about police in America. Yes, another police topic, I know. But yeah, I saw a story this past weekend that really caught my eye. And it's not necessarily just about the police in general, but it's about their tactics when it comes to raids and how they're able to get away with basically tearing apart somebody's house, even if it's not the right person's house. Like, we know what happened with Breonna Taylor. We know what happened there. They raided her home and come to find out it was the wrong home. And you know what? In the meantime, they killed her. So how is it that they continue to get away with this and nobody really calls them out on it? So I want to talk about that. So without much further ado, let's get into it and let's listen to this news clip. And this story comes from Fort Smith, Arkansas.
We're trying to think in our mind, what could we have possibly done for the FBI to be here?
The Bells woke up Thursday morning to the FBI at their house. Tyra says his wife Melissa answered the door and was instructed by the agents to walk outside slowly.
They told her to hold her hands up above her head and to come outside. And then they told her to get on her knees, so she complied with them.
Officers met Tyrus at the front door and did not let him go outside. He says his wife was breaking down with fear. He began recording the incident.
Well, it's kind of a helpless feeling. What are you to do as a husband when you're being restrained and not able to console your wife?
Bell says the encounter lasted 25 minutes. They told the agents they had been living in their home for 9 months. The agents informed them that they had made a mistake and left. The FBI issued this statement saying, "We certainly understand that encountering a full FBI SWAT team is an alarming and intense experience. As with all our operations, we will review this one to address any issues and ensure that improvements are made in the future." Bell says the situation could have been worse, leaving him speechless.
We're lucky to be alive.
Bell says that his wife had a traumatic experience towards the end of her nursing career, which added to the emotional reaction that she had yesterday. And Bell says this made him upset. He did apologize for any foul language towards the agents. In Fort Smith, covering news where you live, Nick Camper, 5 News.
All right, so in case you couldn't tell, and I probably should have mentioned this earlier, but that was actually a black couple that the police were intruding on while they were asleep. So thank God that this didn't go left, because as I mentioned earlier with Breonna Taylor, we saw how that happened. We saw what happened there, and that went completely left. And they could have ended up getting hurt. I mean, you heard the guy say, like, damn, I'm just lucky to be alive. And I 1000% agree with him. Now, what I don't agree with is I don't agree with him apologizing. I do not understand what the hell he was apologizing about. They were intruding on your privacy. Like, they were invading your privacy. They were at the wrong house. It's not your fault. They were totally 1000% at fault. What the hell are you apologizing for? Who cares if you dropped a couple of F-bombs or more than a couple of F-bombs? Who cares if you called them some words that you wouldn't dare say in front of your mother? Who cares? Okay, they were wrong. They scared you half to death. They scared your wife half to death. Don't apologize. As black people, man, we gotta stop doing that, man. We really gotta stop doing that. That's another conversation for another day. But we gotta stop doing that crap. Don't apologize. But yeah, when I saw that story, I couldn't help but to think to myself, like, damn, here we go again. Police harassing another black couple for absolutely, positively nothing. Okay, because they got the wrong house. They got the wrong house. They got the wrong address. I don't understand how this keeps happening and nothing gets done about it. I don't understand. I don't know. Maybe something has gotten done about it. Maybe it's better than it has been in the past. I don't know. Maybe so. But I feel like this is one of those things where, like, you really don't have any room for error, because this really could have went left, just like the Breonna Taylor shooting went left, right? I mean, everybody's not going to be so calm, cool, and collected like these guys were, the FBI agents or whatnot. You know, you're going to have some police officers, you're going to have some law enforcement agencies, like, they're just going to rush in there and throw flashbang grenades like that SWAT team in Georgia did that time back in 2014. Yeah, they raided the house and threw a flashbang grenade inside of the house. And what do you know? It landed in the crib of a 19-month-old baby. And the baby got severely burned. Luckily, he survived. He didn't die. But yeah, I mean, that's a lot of trouble and a lot of commotion for the wrong house to be raided. And I think the family ended up getting paid out like $3.6 million. So I guess they got some compensation. But still, just imagine how wrong that could have went. Just imagine how wrong that could have went. You know what I'm saying? And I don't understand, man. Like, especially with this story, with the story in Fort Smith, Arkansas. I don't understand how can you be the FBI, the freaking FBI, y'all? Okay, they're probably listening to everything that I'm saying right now. Like, they're listening to everything we do, looking at us through our phone cameras. Like, there's no telling. There's probably no end to the surveillance that the FBI does on people, that the government does on people. Let's just call it what it is. How in the blue hell do you not know that the people you were looking for don't live in that house anymore? I just don't understand. Like, I just don't get it. I just don't get it, y'all. Maybe I'm missing something here, but this is the freaking FBI. We're not talking about some little rinky-dink police station, okay, or police agency. We're talking about the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation. How in the hell do you screw that one up? Man, I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, you couldn't have done surveillance on the house. And this is the funny thing. Like, I looked up the actual story. So there was I guess the house that the couple was living in, it was very close to the actual house. So anyway, they caught up with the people that they were trying to catch up to. And apparently these guys were like some serious, like, meth dealers. Like, they had connections to the cartel and all that crap. Now they caught them, and from all the mugshots that I saw in the news report, they weren't black. Now, maybe they didn't show all of the mugshots, but hey man, I looked at some of the names. Those were all like white and Mexican names. Once again, could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that none of those suspects were black. So you mean to tell me you couldn't have done some type of surveillance, you know, feds taking pictures? You couldn't have done any type of surveillance to determine that, nah, that's not the right house. That doesn't even look like our suspects. I'm pretty sure you had pictures of them before, right? You could have easily done some type of surveillance and made the determination that, no, they don't live here. There's a freaking black couple that lives there, an older black couple that lives there. This is not the house. So I don't understand why they couldn't have done something like that, man. But it just goes to show you, man, that the police, they can just do what the hell they want to do and just get away with it. They can shoot unarmed black people, get away with it. They can raid your house. Oh, you know, raid the wrong house, get away with it. They don't got to pay nothing. Just say, I'm sorry. And now in this instance, I guess they didn't necessarily cause any property damage. Not that I know of, but they did cause psychological damage. Because, man, I mean, that has to, I mean, that's a lot, man. That's a lot. Like, imagine if the FBI just showed up outside of your house right now. Whatever you're doing, if you're at home, just imagine that all of a sudden the FBI, the SWAT team, FBI, I guess it was some combination of the FBI and Little Rock SWAT team, I don't know. But you just got all of these people outside your house with guns, with big ass guns. All right, we ain't talking about no little deuce. We talking about some ARs. All right, all types of scopes and flashlights, bulletproof vests on. I mean, that's a lot, man. That's a lot to handle. So regardless, you can say, oh, well, at least they didn't kill anybody, or at least they didn't shoot anybody. That's valid. But still, I don't think that excuses their actions. I mean, it's just like I did a little Google search, and there was a story in Nashville, Tennessee, where, you know, you got this SWAT team, I guess, of these people that I don't know. I always get confused. I don't know whether it's a SWAT team. I don't know whether it's some type of I don't know, separate team that's not the SWAT team, somewhat like the SWAT team, but it's not really the SWAT team. It's just 4 police officers that get together and do a raid. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just gonna say law enforcement from now on. I'm just gonna say law enforcement. So yeah, I mean, they used the freaking battering ram to knock down this lady's door for absolutely positively nothing, because they had the wrong house. And all you get out of them is well, we're sorry. And I'm reading here that they actually bought her groceries. Bought her some groceries. And they think that that's enough. They think that that's okay. Now, I will say, luckily, these guys, I guess the police officers who were involved, they got decommissioned, which I guess that just means that they are, I don't know, I guess that means that they're on desk duty or something, or they can't go on these types of missions. They can't go on raids anymore. I don't know, but they didn't get fired. So it's amazing, man. I mean, just think about this mother, single mother, of course, black, unfortunately living in public housing, and these police officers get to do this, and she's left traumatized behind it. Her kids are left traumatized behind it. And it's all for nothing. All for nothing. They didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't do anything. She didn't do anything. She didn't do anything wrong. She wasn't selling drugs. It's just like if somebody come in here right now, okay? If the police show up at my door right now because somebody who lived here 7 years ago, they were peddling drugs out the basement. I didn't have anything to do with that. I'm not a drug dealer. So why in the hell should I be harassed? Why should I have to, pay for the sins of that person, I guess? It just doesn't make any sense, man. It doesn't make any sense. And this just goes back to what I've been saying all along. Nobody's policing the police. Nobody is policing the police. Okay, they get to do this, they get to get away with it, and all they have to say is, I'm sorry, please forgive us. They probably don't even say that, and a lot of times they just tear stuff up and just go on about their business. You just gonna have to sue them, and by the time you get through paying legal fees and all that crap, it may not have necessarily been worth it. So I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Nobody's out here policing the police. Nobody's holding them accountable. And I think at the end of the day, man, that's all we want. We just want them to be held accountable. If I break into somebody's house and I'm like, well, I broke into the wrong house, you think the justice system's gonna be like, well, he broke into the wrong house, so we won't charge him with burglary. He won't have to go to jail. None of that. Yeah, he had the wrong house. No, it doesn't work like that. Okay, I don't get to say, well, I hit the wrong house, so technically it wasn't a burglary, so they gotta let me skate. No. I'm going to jail. So I just don't understand how they're able to continue to get away with this type of stuff, man. And it's really sad because I looked up something probably a couple days ago trying to get prepared for this episode. So have you guys ever heard of civil forfeiture? Now, I'm going to read this definition straight out of Wikipedia. So, civil forfeiture in the United States is a process in which law enforcement officers take assets from persons suspected of involvement with crime or illegal activity without necessarily charging the owners with wrongdoing. So, what this means is You could be riding down the highway, right, and get stopped by a police officer, get searched, and let's say you got $4,000 cash in your car. They find that $4,000. They can take that. They can just up and take it. Okay? No questions asked. They can just up and take that money. And basically, it's going to be up to you to prove, one, that you weren't involved in any criminal activity, and two, that you had no knowledge that your property was being used to facilitate the commission of a crime, or that you took every reasonable step under the circumstances to terminate such use. I mean, how ridiculous does that sound, y'all? You want to talk about infringing on your rights? I mean, good hell. That sounds like a clear violation of the Fourth Amendment. A clear violation. Now, I guess people who actually support this crap, they'll tell you that you need this because it's a way to combat organized crime, you know, seize all of the big assets from the big time drug dealers, you know, cars, clothes, jewelry, property. You can seize those. It's a way to kind of hit them in the pocket, I guess, you know, hit them where it hurts, and discourage anybody from doing stuff like that in the future. Now, the crazy thing about this is they get to keep this stuff. Yeah, they get to keep it. So let's say that they just debo and take your money. All right. First of all, you're going to have to probably lawyer up. Okay. And that's going to cost some money. Basically what I'm saying is, well, I guess if you're riding around with $4,000, I guess maybe you do have, one would think that you would have the means to get a lawyer, but maybe you don't. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's like all of your savings or something. I don't know. Maybe you won it on the scratch off ticket. Maybe you're really poor, but you won it on the scratch off ticket or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. But regardless, it's just a lot to go through. And that's why you see a lot of the times, you know, people are better off just cutting their losses than trying to go back and get their property, because it's going to be an uphill battle. I mean, this is just ridiculous. I was just flabbergasted when I read about this. And you guys should do some research for yourself. I'm probably not explaining it well, but yeah, basically they can just take your stuff. And I know I've heard of celebrities. I know they've mentioned this. They didn't call it out by name, but now when I read it, the stories kind of just crept back into my head. I've heard of celebrities saying how they've gotten harassed by police officers. They've gotten harassed by them, stopped by them, and they ended up taking their money. So of course, you know, a lot of these flashy rappers, they like to ride around with a bunch of money in their pockets, a bunch of money in the car, you know, 10 racks, something like that. And yeah, the police just they take their money, they take their jewelry, and yeah, they can definitely do that. They can just do that. And a lot of people get caught in the crossfire. A lot of innocent people get caught up, right? You could be totally innocent, have nothing to do with nothing, and they just take your stuff, man. One thing about law enforcement, boy, they are greedy. They are hella greedy. Okay, greedy. They want everything. That's why when you hear when people say defund the police, that's why they get so in their feelings. They are greedy. They want to have all the money. They want to have all the power. They want to have all the guns. They want to have all that. Okay? They want all the money. They want your money. They are so greedy, man. So freaking greedy. And unfortunately, this country feeds them. Keeps them full. So anyway, that's it for me, man. Hope you guys enjoyed. As always, make sure you follow all the social media links in the description, Facebook page, YouTube page, Instagram page, Twitter page, all that. And as always, count your blessings, not your problems. And I'll talk to you soon. Peace.